internalizing the problem and blaming ourselves.
Joined by Dr. Boyce Watkins. We are very happy for him to join us on our platform. Dr. Watkins, thank you for joining us and welcome to the program.
Absolutely, brother. It's my pleasure to be here, and I love the advice show. I appreciate you guys inviting me on. Thank you.
Well, we wanted to, since you are a financial guru within our community, and we need to pick your brain on some things today in the area of finance. So most people see the title. We have a $1 trillion buying power, but in the black community, we don't benefit from it at all. Why is that?
Because black people are very good at giving their money away. We love.
Straight to it because we just good. We're good at giving our money away.
We love supporting our masters.
We love supporting our masters. It's all this buzzwordisms that has to go out there. Phraseisms. Okay. Let me pick at all the phrases I've heard. Okay, so it's we love supporting our masters. Oppression breeds greed. It's systemic issues within our own. It's just
Masters, we it's a habit, it's a tradition that we've had for hundreds of years.
it's a habit of tradition we've had for hundreds of years. How do you know? What do you mean hundreds? We couldn't even spend much money back in the day. Back in the day, we had to create our own. Well, what are you saying? What do these people be saying? What do you mean for hundreds of years? Listen to what you say. Think of.
And to put it more simply, people don't understand the power of money. Uh, we have not been trained to understand what money really is. Money is actually capital. Capital.
Ooh, money is actually capital. Ooh, fiat is fiat. That's how them niggas try to hit you with a different, So really, it's fiat currency. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. It's just gold. It ain't even backed by gold no more. You know what I'm saying? You don't know nothing about the greenbacks. We need to go back to the gold standard. You know what I'm saying? Capitalism and what? Shut up.
Is something that is supposed to be used to help you make more money. Meaning,
So money is capital, and it's supposed to be used to help you make more money. A medium of exchange in the form of coins and banknotes. Coins and banknotes collectively, sons of money, the assets, property, and resources owned by someone or something as well. Money is a currency medium of exchange in the form of money and banknotes. It is not capital. Let's just see what capital is. Wealth in the form of money or other assets owned by a person or organization or contributed for a particular purpose such as starting a company or investing. So in a sense, yes, when you say is money in the form of money and or assets, and it can be used to start money, but money itself is a means of exchange. Now, you can do business without money. If I grow this and you grow that, we can exchange it. If I create steel and you need it and you create some kind of chemical process product, we can exchange that. We're doing capitalism right there without the use of money. Money is utilized to help us exchange those things a little bit better. Um, and yeah, or also to store your wealth in order to continue in the capitalistic system of exchanging things. So in a sense, he's right, but at the same time, it's just like you're not really saying anything. That's not the only reason. Well, I mean, he's saying the reason why it's used is to start a business, but that's not the only reason it's used. Otherwise, we wouldn't be sitting out here trying. I mean, in a sense, you got to use it to eat. You got to use it to live. You got to use it to get certain services done. You got to use it. It's not just to make money. It's to also sustain your ability. As life forms on this planet, we have certain things that we have to do. We have to eat. We have to drink. We have to defecate. We have to live somewhere. We have to sleep. We have to do all these things, and we have facilitated this money system in order to help us better do certain things in that realm. And we use a capitalistic society in order to help facilitate the exchange of goods and services to help us better do that. Like I bought a bed in order to help me sleep, right? Somebody made a business for a bed. They took the money to make the business for a bed. I paid money to get the bed so I can sleep, not so I can do a business. It's not just a one-sided thing.
For example, if I take
Otherwise, we'd all just be making money and nobody's spending it with each other. The circulation of those dollars is very, very, very important in the economy. The spending of those dollars, not circulating, fuck that. The spending of those dollars are very, very much more important than investing. Because if nobody's spending, nigga, what are you business? What kind of business do you have? Come on now.
I buy a building and some trucks in a factory. I'm not buying it so I can just live in the factory. I'm buying it so I can use the factory to make money, right? Or if I buy, even if I buy a cow, I buy the cow so I can get the milk and sell the milk. Well, that's what money is. Money's supposed to be a form of capital that helps you make more money over the long term. It's not supposed to be a form of consumption. Consumption is when
You have to eat, right? That's consumption. It's not supposed to be a form of consumption. You have to eat. You need electricity. You consume that. Is that not a form of consumption? My motherfucking electric bill come here every day. Not every day. Every month. I don't have to use capital money in order to pay that. That which I consumed. It's
you
niggas just say anything.
the money and you say, okay, now I can make more, even more trips to the mall. The biggest.
The only thing you talk about us is now you can say now you can go to the mall more. You ain't gonna talk about all the other money we spending on regular, schmegular things. Shout out Cardi B. I don't like that, but still.
Worst examples I could think of, man, are cases of like athletes who've never been trained on financial literacy, who will literally earn $100 million over, say, a 10.
Let me tell you about this athlete who earned $100 million and just blew all this money. The average person makes $40-some thousand a year, nigga. They not blowing hundreds of millions. You gonna compare a $40-some thousand nigga to $100 millionaire. Nigga, of course I'ma spend if I got $100 million. Nigga, I got 100 mil. Now, of course, it would be better for that dude with the 100 million to spend his money more wisely on assets and things that's gonna build wealth even more, as well as he's still gonna consume. He's still gonna buy a Bugatti, and you can't shame him for buying a goddamn Bugatti.
Of your period, and will just engage in extravagant amounts of spending that just don't make any sense. And what they don't understand is that when you have that kind of capital on that level, like somebody gives you $100 million, you can turn that into $1 billion in a generation by putting it in the right place. So just reframing how we think about money can be huge in terms of changing the game for us a generation or two from now.
Now, let me ask you, it's something that I've said.
So, you're not gonna, because you don't know how to do it, you're not gonna go into details. Let me tell you about this athlete. He had $100 million and, if you take that $100 million, you could really turn that into, $1 billion over a generation. But that's just not what they do. It's just like me telling you, you got $5 in your pocket, man. You really could turn that into $50,000 if you really wanted to. But I guess you're gonna go buy that meal to eat tonight. Like, come on, dude. You ain't tell a nigga how he could take this $5 and make 50 grand. You just gonna throw it out there. It's just easy. If you got 100 mil, motherfuckers have also lost 100 million trying to go after more money too. Now, don't get me wrong. Look at the face he making right there. Ugly ass voice walking face. Don't get me wrong. I still think we should take chances and make sure I'm always going to be the type of person that advocates for building businesses and building wealth and and doing better. But I'm not just gonna throw simple little surface level vague shit on top. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you exactly ways that you can do it. If you got 100 million, you may think about opening up a hotel. You know, if you can find space. But you know what? I wouldn't even really think about that right now. I mean, unless you found the perfect situation, because a lot of that shit is dominated by certain companies, you know, certain ethnicities actually out there. The East Asians typically dominate the hotels in the United States. But um, either way, you could take that 100 million and either invest in the different types of businesses. I mean, to be honest, I would have to go into different types of businesses and go into numbers, and I could do that. I would really talk about opening up a national chain of, you know, let's just say mobile car washes, opening up a chain of and having them SEO based to where you know they're always at the top of the search engines, or doing you know some white label products and really going hard on certain particular products and certain advertising and things of that nature. But you know, building a subdivision. You know, you can talk about going into real estate, building a subdivision to take about 50 million, or 75 million, whatever. Build up some homes and sell those homes and whatever. You know, there's multiple ways, and to try to make more money. But even I don't have all the ways, but I can come up with even some more ways. But even those have lots of obstacles. You're gonna have to do a lot of research. You can't just take some nigga that just plays ball and he all of a sudden he can just take his $100 million and he all of a sudden he's a fucking real estate developer. You know, it just doesn't plan out. It just doesn't pan out that way.
Many times before, black people are the most vain people I know, because we will spend our last on the most expensive stuff and we can't afford it. Why is it that we
will spend our last on the most expensive stuff and we cannot afford it? Where do you get that from?
people have to have the best car? Now, let me ask you, it's something that I've said. Why is it that we as black people have to have the best car, the best clothes, the best?
Because it looks good, because we want it, because we don't want to look like shit. We don't want to walk around here looking raggedy. We ain't never liked looking raggedy. Looking back at my old photos of my family, they didn't like looking raggedy. Why do we do this? Because we don't like looking raggedy.
The best shoes, but yeah, when you go in a person's house, like say some of these single guys, they got all these nice clothes, but then they're sitting on a soapbox inside of their apartment, but they look good. Why is that we have our?
No, that's different. Nobody says that shit to the white dudes that do it all the time, and they don't even look good when they do it either. There's plenty. That's just the normal bachelor life. I can almost guarantee you him if I was to question him. Hey, nigga, when you were 21, 22, 23, 24. What the hell kind of living situation did you have, nigga? I know me and most everybody else and women. When you get your first apartment, nigga, there's a TV and an air mattress. And you're lucky if you get anything else. You build it up as you get in there. Some people are lucky enough to have a little bit of bread in order to do that. But I'm going to build it up. But while I'm building it up, while I'm there and using my work, you going to work every day, I'm not going to be dressed raggedy. I'm still going to be dressed in the clothes that I already had, probably from school or probably from wherever, whatever. And I still may buy an outfit or two, while I build this up. Why are we shaming people for a few dollars?
Our priorities are screwed up financially.
Because some of us grow up believing deeply in instant gratification and doing things that make you feel good. Like you think about a brother who's got 10 kids and 8 babies mamas. This is clearly not a person who has engaged in long-term thinking or critical thinking. What have they been doing? They've been basically doing what feels good. She looks cute, I'm gonna go have sex with her. And the condom, I don't like this condom, so I'm gonna take it off. Boom, next thing you know, you got a bunch of kids and maybe a bunch of diseases to go with it. Well, the same thing is true when it comes to money. You got some people that think about money as a quick hit. It's like a drug. It's like, I got this money, now I can go get this outfit that's gonna make me feel better about myself. I can get this car that's gonna make me feel like I'm somebody. I can go drop this money at the club, which is gonna make me feel like I'm a successful, important person. And a lot of that really is built on not just the instant gratification component, but also low self-esteem. Black
Mhm.
people
He just correlated the way that we spend and act with the way a nigga with 8 kids gets STDs and takes off his condom and all this shit and that the horrible words and phrases and theology that these people, not theology or ideology or whatever, that these people are putting out there is insane, dude. It's insane. That dude has nothing to do. A dude with 8 kids and shit couldn't compare to me and most of the people and black people I know. There's a white dude out there with just as many kids, many of them. Not as many, probably because they're not as fertile as black people are. You know, death rates and everything, and I mean birth rates of them, you know, ain't been the best. But this is how we speak. This is how we speak about ourselves this way.
don't love ourselves. We don't love our lives. When your life is miserable and you feel stressed out all the time and you don't feel good about yourself,
You suck. You don't love your life. You miserable. You spin horribly. It's all your fault, nigga. It's your fucking fault, and it ain't gonna never change because you suck. Good God, these people are idiots.
well, money can kind of be like a temporary way to kind of boost that up a little bit, just like smoking a hit of crack. Think about it.
Now he comparing it to smoking a hit of crack. Boyce Watkins is the worst, and then he why would these are the things that people compare black people to? Fuck, dude.
They get high on drugs. A lot of times they do it to escape their problems. So spending money, having the nicest this and the nicest that might be a way to kind of cover up and mask the fact that you're not happy with your life, you're not happy with yourself, and then once again, just not even understanding the power of that money goes a long way in causing that to happen. Last piece I'll throw in there too is just hopelessness. Hopelessness.
You hopeless,
If
nigga.
you feel that
You
your
ain't got no
destiny
hope.
is to be broke, like you said, hey,
Obama left with the hope. Okay. I'm gonna get off this, and because I want to get into these things before I lose battery power on some of this shit. So first off, first. Let's pull up a calculator. Let's do this math, people. Pew Research. Okay? Let's look at some facts. The population is 47.2 million as of 2021. Okay? On average, we make about median household income of 46 grand. Where does this money and this spending power come from? And first of all, before I get into that, we all know $46,000 ain't no money. It's hard to live completely on that. As a single person, you'll do okay. As a family with one person making that, you're not doing great. We know this. It shouldn't even be much of a fucking question, right? That's less than $1,000 a week. It's like, and then after taxes, that's probably like about a $600 a week check, $600 to $700 a week check. That's no money. It's gonna take two and a half of those damn near to pay your rent, depending on where you stay in. So, and you still got other bills, car, food, cell phone, and people get on to you about having an iPhone. You can't pay $20 a month on a plan extra just to get an iPhone. Oh, nigga, if you got that iPhone, nigga, it's your fault. Now, why am I bringing this up about the 46,000? Because if you do the goddamn math, 47 million people, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, yeah, times the national average of what we make is $2.1 trillion. 2.2. That's where the number comes from. We don't make that much money. The average family makes 46 grand. Population is 47 million. Obviously, kids aren't working. There's a lot of people in there that's not working, so it can be tweaked. But that number comes from our buying power, $2.1 trillion, is only because we make $46,000 a year. White folks have like 100-something odd trillion dollars or something in wealth, or 200-something odd trillion, or whatever it is. We got 2.1, but when you say it by itself, sounds like a lot. Y'all niggas got 2.1 trillion that you're not spending, man. Y'all spending it frivolously. It's just going out the door. We're spending it on our everyday needs in many cases. Let's pull up something about that. Article, Systemic Racism from the Washington Post. Systemic racism, not $200 Air Jordans, suppresses black wealth. They already start off with the premise that I'm actually in favor for. We're going to go down here. In fact, let me just double check. I pulled up a couple little spots here. Population and income that we're going to go through. Oh, yeah. Right. Now, here's one spot. White families have the highest level of median and mean family wealth, $188,200 and $983,400, according to the 2019 Federal Reserve Survey of Consumer Finances. That's their wealth. Median is 188, the mean is 983. Black families' median and mean wealth is less than 15% of whites at $24,000 and $142,000. Completely different. Looking at the expenditures, black households spend an average on $639 on spent $639 on footwear in 2019, compared to $419 for all households, according to the Labor Department 2019 Consumer Expenditure Survey. When it came to women and girls' clothing, black households spent $784 compared to the national average of $704. So this is kind of where they say we spend a little bit more than everybody else. But as you look at the number, nigga, are you going to become financially free if you spend $200 less a year on average? Is it per year? Spend an average of $600. Yeah, if you don't spend let's say you don't buy no footwear, are you gonna find yourself getting to a better wealth state, a better state, economic state? I'm sorry, by not spending $639 a year? And let's add on some extras. Let's add on, if you don't spend the $784 on the clothes per year and some other shit, you might be able to save, let's say you can somehow get up in there and save $2,000 a year. Nigga, what kind of wealth you building that $2,000 a year in savings? 10 years to give you $20K. You just made your down payment money for your 30-year mortgage that I talked about in the beginning. You see how we circle back around to that? First, you had to cut out all the shit, though. Then you can save up some extra money and you can get that house, that 30-year mortgage, after 10 years of saving up $2,000 once you cut back on the little things here. But again, she's showing here that she's not on the side of that we spend too much. She's on the side that we don't spend too much. She's showing the facts. It's not that much more money. That's not going to put us at some, dope economic state. There was something else in here. White families, blah, 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 blah. It's more likely that higher spending by blacks is a result of status signaling. Everybody keeps throwing that in there, the status. He argues it's an economic theory akin to some of the grandmother drilling to me. You have to be as twice as good to get half as much. Status symbols for families with the biggest. I'm unaware of any credible economic study published in a reputable economic journal that has demonstrated that once you control your income, white people save more than blacks, said Hamilton. I've met families today whose parents want to deny participation. Okay. I can't remember. There was some other thing in here I thought I saw that was good to read off. But we're going to get to the next thing, which is a Forbes article here. Again, I'm trying to beat the battery right now. The $300 billion Black American consumerism bag breeds big business opportunities. So this is, again, another one of those articles that's true. Because when people want your money, yeah, they're putting shit out there. Yeah, you got money they want. But they're in the fields and industries that control things that are of necessity. Homes, electricity, food, gasoline, certain goods and services that people get on a normal basis. And they're going to talk about that in here as well as some of the things that you need on a regular basis. But let's go down to here, the breakdown that you need to know. In 2019, consumer expenditures by black households totaled approximately $835 billion. Now, we saw that there was $2.1 trillion that we have to spend. I don't know where to get this $835 billion number, but let's just say that's about a third of what we have, of what we make. And so they're looking there, they're eyeing that third or portion. It's almost close to half. So a little, well, maybe about a third or so, but a little over a third. But they're eyeing that, that 835 billion in combined. But again, that's not a lot. What you're looking at, 835 billion, 835 millions, billions, 835 billion divided by 47 million is saying that we have on average $17,765 a year to spend in spending power. So 17,800, let's just say 17,800, right? $17,800 is what we have to spend left over according to them out of the 47,000. And you divide that by 12. We got $1,400, $1,483 a month, according to them, that we can spend. Now, what are they talking about? They want us to spend that $1,483 a month on, and that's being pretty generous. Like, to say that they have that much money, if you're making $46,000, you typically ain't got $1,400 extra just kind of laying around. Typically, every month. But in combined spending of black households has increased 5% annually over the past 2 decades. When you read that African Americans have 1.4 trillion in spending power, it's an incredibly impressive number. It's an incredibly impressive number. I hate what these people do that. Even more so when you realize that that's more money than Spain, Mexico, Netherlands, Turkey, or Switzerland generate annually. It's nearly unimaginable, okay? Nearly unimaginable to think that the collective purchasing power of black Americans is greater than the most developing nations. It's not. It's $46 million a year. Black buying powers. Black consumers have a major influence on spending. With luxury items like watches, black people amount for $60 million out of $385 million in overall spending. And you be like, man, y'all spend money on watches like that? But again, when you divide that by 47 million, let's just say you divide that by 10 million. That's barely, it's still not a lot. It's barely $600 on watches if it's 10 million people spending that much money on watches, and it's not that. As for women fragrances, they represent $151 million for a 170. Now, if anything, we should be looking at these numbers in a good way because yes, they are impressive numbers, but impressive and great if we can formulate solutions and ideas on how we can take advantage of that ourselves in order to not exploit, in order to harness the economic power that kind of capitalism has to bring. What do I mean by that? Mainly, if fragrances make $151 million per year out of our community, how can we find 40 businesses that can get started up to at least make $1 million a year and take a lot of their market share? $40 million of that should go toward black business owners, and they should be able to make $1 million a year each off of the fragrances. Or you could say half. You could say, I said 40, 80 people make $500K and be some of the top. You can put two of them in each state. It's 50 states, whatever. Put 100 people maybe, and let them be the top people for those states that people go to for fragrances. Especially now, with the internet and everything like that, we can have multiple people put in different kind of positions, let them go, and especially today, you can just white label, private label, anything. You want to make a fragrance, look on goddamn Alibaba, AliExpress, whatever. Alibaba, AliExpress, or whatever, and you'll be able to make one pretty easy. You'll be able to find any kind of company. You can find some here in the United States. Look at this. We'll just do this shit real quick. USA-based private label women's fragrances, women's perfumes. I mean, there's people running goddamn ads for the shit right here. They're running ads. If somebody's running an ad, that really means they want you to be a private label company. I mean, yeah, they want you to purchase their private label shit and make your own brand. I'm not going to click on their ads. Let's go down a little bit further. ATL fragrance, alt fragrances. How does it work? Private label program. Choose from one of our range of experts. They got a 20% off. And selling sins. Develop a custom label and packaging for your brand. Number 3, get in your customized fragrance packages and ready to start distributing in as low as 50 pieces. They'll start you as 50 pieces. So here, private label sampling set, $79. Get your little sample set, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You could be on your way to starting your own fragrance company and go ahead and try to be the one that is getting all that market share from the black folks within your own community. And they'll just pick you one. Just pick you a supplier. Go through, do your research. This place looks like it's a database full of suppliers. I had to think about the word for that. So on and so forth. Same thing. What else did they say? Watches. Let's say private label luxury watch. Let's not say USA based, but these places, some of those USA based. Private label luxury watches. They running ads for the shit. They'll make the watch your logo, timeless, Swiss-made, custom-branded logo watches to promote your business or brand. Recognition, gifts, or awards, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you don't even have to make anything anymore by hand. I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to start to wrap this up because battery power is going low. But you don't even have to create the brand fully. I mean, you do the brand, but you don't have to create the product yourself these days. You can just place orders, customize some stuff, put yourself out there. And it may not say to you, some people may be like, oh, that's cheating, or you getting it from China, or whatever. That's what everybody does. That's how the world works. That's how a global economy works. It's time for you to participate. You know what I'm saying? And it should actually be better quality because you're not getting it from somebody making it at the house. Right now, we got a lot of entrepreneurs that just make shit at the house and then they take it to the motherfucking farmers markets and try to sell the body butter that they use with they blender, the same blender they made smoothies with, right? But at the same time, I'm cool with that. I'm not knocking that whatsoever. But you also could just pay a company who has a whole machine bottling and everything else and all this other stuff, and they've been doing it for years, and they do it for other companies, and you can make your own specific brand. What's the difference between all the brands at the grocery stores and yours? Nothing other than yours. You just putting yours out there. Difference in the formula maker, they might have certain things that you might want to do that maybe you could tweak formulas if you're trying to sell a food or a fragrance formula or something like that, if they allow you to do certain things to make it unique. But for the most part, you just got to sell something that people actually will like. That's the main thing. Will they like it? But the thing is, again, to bring this all back, what we were talking about is, do black people really have $2.1 trillion to spend? No, because we have to spend it on necessities. Plus, part of that $2.1 trillion is going toward taxes. But then you got to spend it toward necessities. So my thing was trying to figure out a way that black people can be the necessities, have businesses that are given those necessities. There should be a way for you to get into products. You can private label a lot of things. Now, we may not be able to start our own electrical company, but we might be able to start a division that is an affiliate of an electrical company that gets high commissions from said sales to the company, and all the black people go to those people. And that's where you get your electricity from. And even though they're just a liaison or a middleman in between you and your city electric, they're still going to be able to make a lot of profits off of things that you need, especially if there are some residual commissions within that. Same thing with trying to get people for life insurance or, maybe for cable and internet. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times there's new ways to come up with websites and be able to maybe contract, or maybe I'm pretty sure I can probably find a way to contract to be able to offer these certain streaming services and shit like that for a particular fee, or to be able to white label like a Netflix company might have a white label streaming service that you can put your own branding on of some sort. You just got to Google and find it. But the thing is, we got to make things that people need and are already spending money on, and then they can just flip that $50 they're already spending to you. But if you're trying to make them buy juices, and juices are good, but if they don't already drink juice and already ain't spending money on juices or jewelry or beads or body butters and whatever the case, then it's not going to sustain. It's not going to be they're not going to be able to continuously buy from you all the time because they're going to have extra capital. So we got to try to take over the things that we need.